I probably talked last time, I'm sure, about Eric Stone Street. He is a mentor of mine.
Hmm.
He's one of the early people that I met when I moved to Los Angeles. We did improv together, and he's the meanest big brother you could ever ask for, and I never asked for one. But I have learned so much from him, and he taught me very early on. So many people get wrapped up in my career absolutely rests on having representation. I am walking, living, breathing proof that that is not the truth. That is not the only way. The bulk of my career was built without an agent and without a manager. And I think people have more opportunity for that today because y'all's getting representation off the internet. I never had that. But
Yeah.
representation is not the end all be all, guys. Don't ever let them hold you captive. If you're not feeling it, jump off the cliff, see what happens. I always say LA is a place of endless hope and opportunity. And if you're supposed to be here, she'll take care of you. I say that constantly. I have for decades, and I mean it. And I've had those hard talks. I've called my manager and said, "Are you too big for me?" And she said yes. Like, I've been through it. It's not easy. Like, that hurts here, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm not done. Nobody gets to decide when I'm done besides me. And I would say if you have that tug to go to something else and to do something else when you're in the down times, if there is that thing that you're like, I mean, I could. I mean, it would, I do enjoy it. I mean, I would, then do it. I pray for that all the time. I'm like, please send something else that I love because it's not there. And that's how I know I can't quit yet.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say to actors who don't have representation, which is a lot of actors who are listening to this podcast right now?
Yeah, I would say just be on your own game. You are your publicist. I You don't want to be a content creator like I just said earlier. I ain't got time for
Hmm.
that. If you don't, you can still have a presence online. You can still have
Hmm.
an Instagram that really, I mean, we've talked, you and I have been on a panel before where we talked about there are casting associates and casting directors and people, they're checking out your personality on your Instagram. They want to know who
Hmm.
their directors will be working with. They want to know what you're going to be like for a 12 days, 12-hour day on set. You can still have a presence online, and then you can still make stuff and not dump $10,000 into it. People are forgiving these days. You don't need
Yeah.
you don't need a $5,000 mic and a $25,000 camera anymore. Get your face up while you're at a stoplight and tell people how you're feeling. Show a little bit of what you got, charisma wise, right?
It
Charisma.
gets I like that. I like that. It's scary to because we talked about how it gets very lonely. So to also not have reps in your corner, right? Because we know
Yeah.
that breakdown services is has to be accessed by a representation, you know?
Mhm.
So like the idea of
Unless
booking a
your
TV show
friend
or booking a movie.
unless your friend that you met 10 years ago in your improv class or your acting class or your yoga class is now a writer that created their own show, and they tell casting, "Hey, bring in my buddy. She's great."
Right.
This
Right.
is not a sprint. This is a marathon, and you are planting seeds right now for your career in 15 years. Always, always.